Hey guys, welcome to the Model Citizen Podcast. We're your hosts, Hunter and Michaela. We are so excited to have you here. All right, let's dive in.
On the road to history.
Hunter's flapping her Flappy Bird wings.
Dude, and I have the best arms for that. And we've talked about this. I have the best arms for that because I have more of like a flab. You're more of like rock solid. I'm more of like soft flab. So I'm a great Eagles fan.
You're kind of like how an octopus is like real, like in water, you're very like ballet, you know, like you move in with a fluidity.
You can even see under the.
As soon as you're on land, though, it's flopping around city.
It's flopping, you guys.
Whereas I'm kind of like a buffalo, where it's just like, you know, it's 90% muscle mass, but drop them in the water and
they'll float to the bottom.
Literally Titanic to the ground.
I'm not looking for you if we're on a boat and we're sinking. I'm just going to tell you that.
You won't find me because I'm plummeting.
I'm buoyant.
Everyone needs to ascend upon Hunter if a boat goes down.
I'm buoyant. I'm soft. I'm buoyant. I'm
like a blow-up doll.
Yes.
Like those blow-up dolls that are like...
Dude, listen, we're still coming down off of a high here in this house. This is the day after the Super Bowl. And if you don't know, it's too bad.
Now you know.
Eagles have taken it home.
They've taken it home. I wish now, after being at a Super Bowl party with 99% Chiefs fans, that I had been in your home because it was like you could hear a pin drop in that place, whereas I could just ever so faintly hear Brian screaming.
Yeah. We were actually talking about that. We were like, because Brian was asking me and I was like, oh no, Michaela's in with a whole bunch of Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that after the Eagles just one touchdown after the other touchdown. And then when I kept seeing the score go 0-7 to 14 to 20, and I was just like, oh,
and then it just stopped. It just stopped when they were tracking. Literally, when they would score, the Chiefs, no one was even cheering because they knew that the jig was up. They knew it was over. And
I think it was because Donald Trump was there. I'm not even kidding you. And I'm not to bring up Donald Trump every single podcast.
No, but it was that. But also it was because I wore the shirt. I'm just saying, I don't want to take all of the credit.
That is why.
But I just find it fishy.
An accumulation of you wearing the shirt.
I was also wearing a shirt. Does anyone even remember that I was also wearing one of the shirts, one of the jerseys when they won the Super Bowl last time?
Were you?
There's photographic evidence of it that you sent me like a week ago of all of us
together. Super Bowl?
Yes.
That was when I fell in the chair? Or you fell in the chair?
That's when I fell in the chair and you threw up chicken nuggets because you were pregnant with Ava.
Yeah.
Remember? You were like literally like 9 months basically. You were
with Hudson, I think.
No, it was Ava because it was only a couple years ago.
Who knows? Anyways.
I know. But I'm telling you, it's because I wore Eagles gear. So you guys are welcome. And you know what? I told Brian, I texted him, I'm like, you know this because I wore the shirt. And he's like, that's why I sent it to you. I knew your power.
It might be, dude. It might be.
I find it very fishy. But yeah, I wish that I had been in your guys' house so bad because I was like, woo!
Was anyone else there an Eagles fan?
No.
Just you and Martin were, and you guys are like not like.
Well, like I was like going gung ho, okay, and then Martin was like, you know, because he's Mr. Bears fan and he doesn't like any other team but the Bears, so you know, and whatever. And then I think there was one other person there who was like an Eagles fan. So, but they weren't like around much. They were doing other things the whole time. So they like for some reason weren't in the room where we were all watching.
It was so fun though because it was Brian and one of his like lifelong best friends. And they're both like die hard Eagles fans. And then it was
the friends' kids.
and the friend's 3 boys
Ugh.
who are also Eagles fans, and then, like, my kids, and it was just, like, it was a very loud, rowdy household. He had brought up, like, a bunch of, different types of Philly cheesesteaks from, like, this super famous, cheesesteak place out there, and then he made,
Love.
like, fried chicken, and we had, like, fried chicken sandwiches, and it was just, like, so bomb. Um, yeah, it was very emotional. Brian was very emotional, especially, like, it was hilarious, though, I will say, like, I felt like I was giving birth or something because the way that people were checking in on me throughout the game going,
Right.
pulse check, is Brian freaking out?
Right.
And then when it ended, the way that people congratulated us as if Brian was in the game.
Right.
Like, literally, that's how you know, like, my husband is so cuckoo
He's
nuts.
famously.
Yes. Like, he is, yeah.
And also just Eagles fans in general are like kooky bananas.
It's a different breed. Yeah.
I don't know if Philly's even currently standing right now as a
No,
city.
and here's the thing. Brian wants to go to the
The
parade on Friday. And I told him no. Because I don't.
How'd that go over?
He kind of understood because I
Mm.
just don't trust the people. Like, I really don't. Like, it's
Yeah,
so
these days.
crazy and they're so rowdy and, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot of people.
Well, wasn't
and
shit on fire last night? Like, I'm like,
yeah, Michaela, literally in Philadelphia. They weren't even playing in Philadelphia, but people took polls.
right. No,
Actual
I know
polls, and
that
were
because I was
walking down
there.
the street.
Oh, I was there, and you know this. I
Yeah,
was
you
there.
were there since you were a Philly fan.
I was climbing the poles, and I have photographic evidence of that.
And we'll be posting.
That a wonderful listener sent me.
We'll be posting.
She said, "I'm on Broad Street right now, and I see you."
Yeah.
And she sent me a photo, and I was
Yeah.
like, "That's literally me in the Eagles
Mhm.
mask." It was a literal Eagles mask, like a full mask. That was me. And you guys knew that it was me is the crazy thing. Just from my
That's
body, from my
crazy.
figure, from my shape. You guys
We were
knew
like,
that it was me
"Who
under that
is
Eagles hat.
That's Swoop. No, that's Michaela.
That's not Swoop. That's Michaela.
Thank you. Thank you.
Michaela Swoop
So-
McGrady.
At the end of the day,
Go
go Birds. And here's the
Birds.
thing, the cool thing really quickly about winning the Super Bowl is that you can wear the Eagles gear now the rest of the year round, and it's always going to be talked about, and it's going to be cool, it's going to be fine. So, like, this was a
Absolutely.
good purchase because I can wear it
1,000%.
year round.
Yes.
And I wore it today, and it was like conversation after conversation. It was go Birds. It was, hit 'em low, hit 'em high, yada yada.
All the
So
things.
that was fabulous.
Right. I think we need to talk about Kendrick's bootcut flares more than anything.
2 things. His bootcut flares, and I did not realize how tiny he was.
You didn't know how small Kendrick is?
Mm-mm.
He's a
I saw
little
him-
dude.
I saw him up there when he
Powerful
was
message.
dude, the fact that so many boomers also it totally went over their head. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
They were just
this
like
entire thing was starting
so
off
beyond
from
them.
like the Black Sam, the flag. It was like reminiscent of like street corners and lights and all this stuff. Like, I was like, oh, he literally didn't come to play. And the fact that like
No.
our president was sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but his bootcut flares were wild. That was a wild choice.
I'm a fan, actually. I actually wish more men
Would wear a
would don a
bootcut flare.
bootcut flare. Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild to see, but exciting.
It was very exciting. It was very exciting. I just like feel like we are in such an interesting age in our lives.
Yeah, we really
We've got just the most opposing perspectives and messages in the same room. They are
Yeah.
diametrically opposed. We've
Yeah.
got a president who couldn't be more oppressive.
Yeah.
Watching like one of the most powerful messages against his entire
Yeah, and he
base.
probably didn't even get it.
Probably
I
didn't
don't
get
think
it.
he even got it. I'm not kidding you. I don't think he even got it. And then he tweeted something about Taylor Swift being booed and was like, well, if you go against MAGA, like, they're very unforgiving. And I'm like, they weren't booing because of that. They were booing because it was mainly Eagles fans in that stadium.
Right. So of course they're gonna.
And by the way, Taylor Swift is from Philadelphia. She's from Bucks
Right.
County, Pennsylvania.
She grew up as an Eagles fan.
You know she's her family is like an Eagles fan. So like,
absolutely.
Please.
Also, I heard from a lot of people that Donald Trump was also booed. So
yeah,
I just find that very interesting. I'm sure nobody in there was just like, woohoo! Like, I'm sure it wasn't an entire crowd of your fans, bro.
Right.
Also, imagine booing somebody just because they're dating someone. Crazy behavior.
I felt so bad for her. I'm not even kidding. Like, I felt so bad seeing her on the Jumbotron, and she was like,
she's also like, still a billionaire. But anyway.
Right. But it's
got more money than probably everyone in the stadium combined.
She could probably buy the entire stadium. But also, I just felt bad because I'm like, this is so lame. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like her. Oh. It's just, it's not cool.
Because she's not like, if you are like, if you are a political person, right? Yeah. If you are somebody who is, your entire thing is polarizing.
Yeah.
I can understand if people are going to boo you. All right. Jill Biden getting booed, I could even understand because people, whatever, don't like the politics. But like, a musical artist who has only ever brought women together, which is just so funny that it was such a powerful woman. You know what I mean?
I know.
But like, and I'm like, to boo her because she's dating a guy on the team. That's literally the only reason she's there. She's there just to support her partner.
Right.
Is crazy behavior to me, but
crazy.
Not surprising. None of that was surprising.
No. Also, I felt bad for Travis Kelce because he absolutely played a really bad game.
They were bad.
They were bad.
The Eagles brought it and they did not. But whatever.
Listen,
it happens.
Here's the thing. What I want to know is this. Mm-hmm. Anytime someone does a halftime show, people will be like I was reading this morning, it was like Kendrick Lamar puts on worst halftime show ever. I'm like, they can't all be the worst halftime show ever because they're always the worst halftime show ever. And I'm like, that's impossible. It can't be.
They said that about Rihanna. They've said that about when Eminem. They say it when Beyonce. I mean, it's always the worst halftime.
Can't be.
It can't possibly be. One has to be better than the other, right? Maybe we need to go back and I need to go to these news outlets and say, well, can you please rank them at least now? Because you keep saying that every single one's the worst. I'm wondering if you're like, whatever your aggregator is, whatever your aggregating system is possibly flawed.
I have to say so.
There may be a bias involved that we should address and look at a little bit deeper.
But it's just so funny. I'm like, okay, just go into that knowing you're going to be the worst performance ever. It's crazy. This world is crazy. It's absolutely insane. I don't know if you saw Kanye West's Twitter or X, whatever. I'm sorry, but it's Twitter. Yeah. This is a crazy timeline. Like it is actually
he deleted
hard.
all of his socials on there.
Really?
Yeah, he deleted his whole thing. And I wonder,
but he's selling swastika shirts right now on Yeezy.com.
Jesus, man,
this is insane. Like this is the absolute craziest timeline that we're living in. And the fact that here's why it's so important when we elect people, and I'm not going to make this a political podcast, but when we elect people who embolden others to get away with this, because he's absolutely getting away with it. People just go, oh, it's just Kanye being Kanye.
He's just crazy.
Like, no, we have set ourselves up in this predicament.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy to see him live tweeting this stuff. I was like, it was absolutely ass backwards.
That's crazy. I think we need to switch to more important topics. I need to start balancing my wonky eye with makeup.
Yeah. You need to do, You know what it is about your wonky eye is that it's too, you know what I think? Here's the issue. You've been doing your makeup the same on both eyes. I think your wonky eye is a different shape. So that's a completely different makeup look.
I don't have balance features is the thing. I don't have a symmetrical face.
I think you do.
If you've ever done that thing where you flip your face,
you know what I mean?
Crazy. No, you don't understand how much I look like if someone drew a foot when I switch it the other way. My face literally goes like this. It's like a crescent moon in a way, because half of it, and I think it's the half that I sleep on, is like a little more
Smushed.
snatched.
Oh,
And
okay,
then
yeah.
the side that I don't is just puffed out to the gods.
Yeah. Have you
It's
ever heard of,
Puffalina.
dude, not Puffalina. You know what I've always wanted to do, but I've always been nervous to do it, and I've actually never seen it like out and about. But have you ever seen one of those mirrors that shows you exactly how you look to other people, and then people like when they see it, they start crying because they think that they're more beautiful than they've realized they have been? Have you heard about that mirror?
Of course I have. I feel like I'll have the exact opposite.
No, I always wonder. I'm like, God, because you know that when we look at you, like when I look at you,
Right.
that's not what you see, because when
Right.
you look in a mirror, it's not.
It's more distorted and it's like
And
flipped
it's,
and
yeah. So
right.
I always wonder how any of us would be if we like, would we be like, oh my God? Because
Well,
everybody who has like looked in it, they literally have to like look away for a second because they can't believe what they're seeing.
they
Can
can't
you
like
imagine?
recognize themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine literally looking at that and being like, I'm breathtaking. Like,
No,
I'm
I would look at that and be like,
stunning.
it's way worse than I ever thought it could
You'd be the
be.
one.
I'm the one person that looks at it and is horrified. I'm like, get it away from me. It's cursed. This mirror's cursed. Well, I can tell you, spoiler alert, you are a very beautiful person once I set my eyes upon you.
Well, and
And
likewise,
you can't really fight that when you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated. So I don't really. How much more do you need? Is what I
no,
want to. How
no, no,
much
no. We're not
more
talking about me.
confirmation?
We're talking about you and your wonky eye.
Right.
That's
what
brought
I'm
this
saying is
on.
I'm afraid I haven't fully sat with it. And
right.
I feel
well,
like that I would have to confront it more.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is I think
You want
that
me to
mirror,
confront my wonky eye more.
I think that mirror would make you realize it's actually not as wonky as you see it to be. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if I look at you, I see symmetry.
Sure. Right.
And that's a compliment.
Thank you.
When I look at you, I see nothing but symmetry.
When I look at you,
card.
I was just going to say, if that's not on one of those hearts, when I look at you, I see symmetry.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, that is gorgeous. But I think you should start doing your do one wing liner and one
regular
open eye.
Just opening one a little bit. So just slowly switching it.
Yeah.
To where it becomes equal.
Equal. I like that. I like that a lot.
Vanity is interesting.
Vanity is so interesting. Speaking of vanity, I have, and I'm not kidding you this, and I have talked about this so many times before. I have so many gray hairs. And I want to know from you guys, what age, probably a lot of you have not even gotten gray hair.
Your age.
But you don't have gray hair in the way that I have gray hair.
No, I don't.
I really have, like, and I know you're going to be like, yeah, but anyone has. But I'm telling you right now, it's to the point where, and I'll show you later, I'll take a picture. It's to the point where if I don't get it colored in the next couple weeks, like it's going to be so noticeable. You can't even tell here, but you could probably see it in my camera. All here is gray. Gray, not blonde. At first, when it first started coming on a couple years ago, I was like, oh, maybe it's some blonde
white
pieces.
blonde. Yeah.
It's gray. And it is such a weird feeling to like grasp because I'm like, whoa.
You're like, but I am so young.
Yeah. In my head, I'm like, I feel so young. Like
it's very much genetic.
I guess. But like, did mom go gray so early?
Absolutely. But she does a great job keeping her color up. So it's never really something that we notice. I mean, just kidding, Mom. You have been a blondie.
Bombshell.
Not a single gray has ever sprung from thine scalp. This is a farce. This is a bit we're doing.
Yeah.
But it's definitely genetic.
Yeah.
And for all of the things that I got from Dad, like my bad psoriasis skin.
Yeah.
I think I got his not graying until older.
Yeah, because he only recently, like in the last 5, 10 years went gray.
I have one. I do have one. here that likes to pop
Oh my God.
every
That's
so
nice because
often.
then you can just pull it.
And I do. And I do. And
Mine's
there's
to the point where
nothing
there's so many that it's not like I could pull it because I would be,
right.
you know
Well,
what I
nothing's
mean?
more humbling than pulling a hair out of your head, dude. Talk about ripping something out of your skull. I mean, it
Right.
is
That and then shaving your face. Literally right before this, I dermaplaned my face and I haven't done it in so long.
I can actually tell from here, which is really crazy because like the quality on Riverside is nothing.
You
Which
can
is
tell that I
why we do it.
dermaplaned?
I can your skin is like glowing right now.
Oh, well, because I
Yes.
dermaplaned. Yeah.
But I just mean like it like
Yeah,
you
it
can
makes such a difference.
tell.
Well, because here's the thing. If you don't like look in a close-up mirror every day, and I only do ever so often, and it's when I catch myself and I'm like, I have a full beard. I have a full, like literally goes down here. Like I have to shave down to here because
Right.
this starts getting, but it's here.
Who are you talking to?
No, I know I'm talking to you, but I'm talking also to the listeners. It's here,
Right,
it's under
right.
the chin, it's the lip. It's like I have to literally all here down dermaplane completely. And then I'll like go up to my forehead and I'm like, my forehead is like fuzzy. Like I'm like, what the
Right.
like it's insane how fast that happens. And I can't even imagine if I didn't catch myself.
Right.
Like
Well,
me and
I
Ryan
always
would be
wonder
competing.
I always wonder if I just let things go. I think about that all the time.
Like what would happen?
Leg hair, arm hair, vag hair. If we just went full Yeti,
Things would be wild. Like things would be
you wouldn't
wild.
be able to tell Martin from I. Can I just say something really quickly? I think that one of my biggest flexes, and this is yours too, we will never be mistaken as those couples who look like brother and sister. Do you know what I mean? You know how you and mom always think a couple looks like brother and sister? You guys are like, you guys
Yes.
look like brother and sister. Mom's always like, you guys look like brother and sister. I'm like, that's probably the worst thing you can
I
say
know,
to
and
like
it's
a
terrible, but I always say it too. I know.
romantically involved couple. They're just like, ew.
I know.
My biggest flex is I never will have that issue.
Yeah, that's true.
No one will ever look at Martin and I and be like, those are two people that share a bloodline.
But then here's the thing. You look at people who have been together for like 70 years and they kind of start looking like each other.
Because
And
they're all gray.
Yes.
Their skin's gray, their hair's gray, their eyes are gray. It's all gray.
But listen to this. I also believe this to be true with people and their dogs. People
Yes.
turn into their dogs. You are much akin to Chio.
I agree. In every way.
And I'm not even kidding you, Michaela. The little nose, like she would be yours and Martin with his mullet.
Yeah.
Comment.
Absolutely. I also think that we almost subconsciously get pets
that kind of like us
are like our spirit vibe.
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted a Dalmatian for that reason.
Yeah, you never see Dalmatians. And then we've talked about this before on here. But dude, when's the last time? I can't even remember the last time I've ever seen a Dalmatian. It must be one of the most rare dogs in the entire world.
The last time I saw a Dalmatian, I remember was in Home Depot and it was years ago. It was at least in 2020.
The last time I saw a
I
Dalmatian
remember it so clearly.
Was when that family that was really close to us adopted one and then gave it back to the shelter the same day, which was absolutely
because they're like
the most horrifying thing ever.
Horrifying because they're famously difficult dogs. Yeah. But not difficult dogs. I don't really believe in difficult dogs, but they are extra work to train.
Yeah.
Kind of like how dachshunds are like infamous for being like really badly behaved, but that's because they're just a little harder to train because they're a little smarter.
Do you think that you hate do you think that you hate dachshunds?
I think I absolutely am obsessed with them. And if you saw me and Martin's DMs to each other,
dachshunds all the time.
Nothing but dachshunds.
Okay.
But
you just didn't
want
like
one.
Hit. Well, because remember when you
I did not like his.
I did not
like his.
Dog.
She was just peeing everywhere.
Yeah.
And okay, I need to tell a story because people are going to think I'm such a fucking bitch if I don't tell this whole story. So
here's the thing about Michaela, really quickly. You will adopt the ugliest, one-eyed, 2-foot dog always.
Right.
Like, that's the kind
I
of
will
dog
always choose a dog over a child any day. Any day. But I need you guys to understand, I'm going to make this very, very quick. When Martin and I when he moved out here for the first time, we stayed at my dad's house for 3 months because he had moved to Canada to film a show. So dad was like, listen, this is actually perfect timing. You guys move out here, or he can move out here. You guys can stay in our house and like house sit for us. So we don't have to worry about the house while we're gone for 6 months. And it gave us time to like save money to get our first place. So we move out here. His family comes out here to celebrate our engagement. And Martin's like, bring Heidi and maybe she stays with us and maybe like we keep Heidi. So they bring Heidi out and sweet, sweet old Heidi is just peeing everywhere in the house.
Is she still alive?
She is.
Oh, wow.
Still alive and kicking. You'll know when she's not, trust.
Yeah.
But she was peeing everywhere and it wasn't our house. And dad is so dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, if this man's carpet is ruined.
And it was all carpet.
It was all carpet.
I know.
It was all carpet. I was like, if this man's carpet is ruined, is it going to be off with my head? Yeah. I was like, babe, you don't fully know my dad yet because you've only been in our lives now for what? A year and some months?
Right.
And you've just moved here. You don't really know what you're dealing with. We got to send Heidi back. And also, she had lived with Martin's parents for 12, 13 years.
Right. So it's like it's time to.
And she had her whole pack over there.
Yeah.
Right. So no.
And no offense, but she was also his dog with his ex-girlfriend. And no offense, I would never. I know that's terrible.
No, but like he got her way before that. He got her way before that.
Oh, he didn't get it before.
No.
Together?
No. He just brought her when they moved in together.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't have cared about that though.
Oh, I would totally care about it. I would be like,
really?
No.
You let your stepdaughter around though.
Yeah, well, I love her.
Imagine
that's very, very interesting.
I also I had like almost a full panic attack before going to the party yesterday.
I know. I didn't like have time before you had texted me that, and there wasn't like enough time. It must have been like a quick panic attack because I had texted you and then you're like, we're here, we don't have service. And I was like, wait, did you go through the panic attack? Or
I basically was like, I forced myself off the cliff essentially because I was like, we're not, and it wasn't anything to do with like the people. It wasn't that. I think what I realized was that where this friend lives is the closest I have driven to where our brother's accident happened.
Yes, which I totally didn't even put those two together. And when you said panic attack,
I kind of have before, but like not.
I won't even go like in that vicinity, honestly.
I will drive down right to where our old condo was.
Yeah.
That's as far as I've gone.
Yeah. I also don't even know the exact pinpoint of where it happened because I can't know. You know what I mean?
I know exactly the pinpoint, which sucks. But the point is, I have not been anywhere even near that area since it happened. And I think I was feeling so much anxiety about even going over there.
Yeah.
And I just didn't put two and two together. But also, and so I was like starting to panic when we were at home.
Yeah.
It also didn't help that I got the time wrong. So I was like geared up to go at 1 and looked at the invitation and at 12:40 and realized it wasn't until 3.
Can you imagine? Hey, they're like,
hey, how y'all doing? I'm like helping her curl her hair, like setting up the food. I'm like, anyway. Meanwhile, I'm like the most aware of social cues person. I'm like, you have to bring a gift. You have to show up 15 minutes past the start time. Like, you never show up on time. You never show up early. You always show up at least, 15 minutes late. But yeah, dude, it was tough. And then honestly, we kept driving and we did turn sooner than I thought.
Okay, good.
A little sooner than I thought that we were going to.
Good.
And I think that helped a lot. Also, the fact that like where they live is like
up, right?
Yeah. And like I've never been exactly this area. So it just was like unfamiliar in a good way.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if that makes sense. Like I was like,
completely.
Oh, this is not what I know. Yeah. I was like, this is like, so imagine you have this like negative association with an area.
Yeah.
But then you're like going to the place next to it that you've never been before.
Right. And then it's like, oh, okay, I can like breathe. It's not like I'm not having to pass this traumatic area.
And I like thought about being like letting this person know. if
Right.
I wasn't going to go because the panic attack got too much. But I was like, that is fucked up to say to this person. It's
Right.
not her fault.
Right.
It's not her fault. And I don't ever want anyone to like feel any type of way because I'm having an issue with something that, you know, objectively just doesn't make a ton of sense if you're not somebody that's gone through this. But yeah, so I was able to talk myself off the ledge.
That's good,
Then we
though.
pulled up and there was no cars because we were like
That's the worst.
doing our 15 minutes late, like, but we were still early, you know, for a party.
That's the worst. Here's the thing about a party. This is my biggest thing. I hate throwing parties because I hate that everyone shows up 15 minutes late because I'm like, okay, no one's going to come. Literally,
Right.
no one's going to come. Like,
Right.
I need to literally, like, I think that a party should say 3 p.m. start. Like, please don't be late.
Well, but 15 minutes, that's a grace period for the hostess to make sure that they have everything together. Do you know what I mean?
But then
That's
you're
why
the
you don't
first
show up
ones
early.
there.
No, I know. I also think that, you know what I thought was actually good about your surprise party is that everyone had to be there at the right time.
See?
Nobody came in like straggling,
Yeah.
which meant nobody stayed much later. Like everyone kind of came, well, they all had to show up
Yeah.
at the time.
Right.
And I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I think it should always be like that. 3 p.m., be here, or you're not allowed
Right.
in.
And honestly, that wouldn't have been a problem. I don't think, like, I don't care about that normally.
Wait, really quickly, did you guys go in being the first people, or did you like
Yeah.
wait around the corner and then?
No, we wouldn't.
So it was just you and them.
Yeah.
How
Which was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was like one or two other people there who like they are very close with. So it was almost like
Right. But you're also going
family.
into this as kind of like a newer friend.
Totally.
Which is always a and you know, one of the things I told Michaela when she was like, I'm having a panic attack, first of all, it didn't even go through my head why you would have been having a panic attack. I totally didn't even like put the two together.
Yeah.
And what I said was, you know, it's kind of nice to be the first one there, especially since you're like a newer friend, because then you have that opportunity to like go and talk to them. And then you're not coming in of them, you know, in like a full conversation, deep conversation with someone that they've known forever. And then you're like, hey, you know what I mean? Like it kind of gives you that like time with that person to warm up.
Totally. And that's why I don't normally have an issue. I think because I was just having a panic attack because of the location.
Yeah. Totally.
Like you feel like you aren't at your best socially. And again, it has absolutely nothing to do with like anything other than where it was. And I'm like, I am absolutely not going to let that stop. You know, normally I'm
that was
very
really
like,
brave though. I don't think I honest to God, and I'm not kidding, I don't know if I would be able to go over there.
You would. I get it, but like you get it though, I feel. And like you see kind of why I was like, and I think also the weird thing was that I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what is my problem? I'm very excited to go to this. Like, I love these people. It was a Super Bowl party, so it's like gonna be low key. I was in a hoodie. You know, it's not like I was in some like uncomfortable outfit or like some high stakes, you know, event or something.
Right.
And I was like, what is my problem? And then I kind of realized I had been in the back of my mind knowing where it is.
Yeah.
And then that came very much to the forefront once we started driving, which is when I texted you.
Oh,
we literally turned onto the boulevard.
Yeah.
Isn't
it
that's when I was
crazy
like,
how that whole area in my mind, and we used to drive up there to get to our house in Malibu, and like that whole road.
We drove it 2-3 times a day.
Yeah. And now
years.
in my brain, it's just dark.
Like, it's off the map.
It's off the map, dude. We literally, when we stayed there 2 summers ago, we avoided that, even though it was a half an hour quicker to get down the hill to come back into Thousand Oaks.
Yep.
We went the other way, which took us 30 to 35 minutes longer because I was like, I can't like go down there.
No way. And also like, I actually don't think it's that crazy because who the fuck wants to go by that area? Nobody.
Yeah.
Do you want to go like if, you know, I was in the same room as our grandmother when she passed last year. Do I want to go back to that hospital room? No.
It's even like a breakup. Like when you break up with someone, you can't like go back to the like restaurants that you used to frequent
or listen to the
like
songs.
A while. Yeah, listen to the songs. It's like that, but on like such a intense level.
Yeah.
So I totally get that.
Yeah, Absolutely. But I was able to do it. Ended up having so much fun, such a great time. But yeah, it was
I love that.
Yeah, it was definitely like a interesting moment. And I shan't be going any further than their house, though.
No.
I'm not
So
interested in
no
that.
friends can
I hope y'all
move
don't buy any property because I will not. If anyone was to buy a home in that
any
area,
further. That's it.
I'll never go there.
Never. Like, that's how far you can go. That's your threshold.
That's
You're like
my
a dog
threshold.
when they have those like invisible fences up.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah,
literally. The second I go past the
Um,
school, I'm like,
I know, dude.
It's not
Also
happening.
so crazy that her kids go there when Bub and I went there too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you about a friend of ours.
Okay.
Who did something that is so, I was giggling because so she's been talking to this guy.
Oh God.
And you know who it is.
And of course.
And she told me I could tell this story.
Okay.
And so she has had this book. And if you're listening right now, I know you're giggling. She has had this book for this guy that she wanted to give him. And she's kind of been like having it to be like, hey, I have a
from
book.
Mars and women are from Venus.
No, better. She's kind of like had this as like, okay, I can kind of use this as like a way to like see him, right? Like, oh, I have my book I want to drop off for you, whatever. So they
she's crafty.
Crafty.
Yeah.
And so she had seen him and they had worked out together and gotten together and then they went over. So they were originally, sorry, I'm trying to wrap my head around the story. So they had originally wanted to meet up the night before. It was getting late. It was like very much getting into booty call hours. And she was like, let's just do tomorrow morning. And he was like, perfect. Like, let's do 9 a.m. That's also crazy for a date. A 9 a.m. workout date is crazy.
That's absolutely.
So basically
asinine.
This guy told her, I don't want any relationship. I just want to have sex. With people, with like multiple people. Like that's where I'm at. He was in like a very, very, very long relationship.
Okay. Fair enough. At least he was honest about it.
Well, that's the thing is that this was actually like one of the first guys that she has talked to and been with or like been around that has actually been honest about it and isn't like, oh no, like I'm such a good guy, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's why I can't fault him because we want honesty and then what we get mad. I'm like,
well, and that she said the same exact thing. Like that she's like, he's been honest and like he's been honest since the jump. He was like, I'm not looking for anything.
Right.
But he literally told her, he was like, you are like so good and like I just am not into that right now. Like I just want to sleep with multiple women every night.
Because it's never the girl. It's whether the guy is ready. It has nothing to do with you. It's whether the man is ready or not.
Exactly.
Anyways.
And so she was like, so we went back to his house after he told her that and they slept together.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, okay, like,
get out.
Yeah. Right. And she left the book.
Okay.
And now I want you to think about what the book might be.
Okay.
What kind of book would be the craziest book to leave after this?
Atonement, narcissism, a book on narcissism, a book on relationships and how to get married, maybe marriage.
That's kind of good.
The road to marriage.
She left the Holy Bible.
She
left the Holy Bible after a rendezvous.
No.
After a 9 a.m. rendezvous with a note in it. And I said, I'm sorry. I said, take it back a minute. I said, hold the phone. I said, so you guys just had a full conversation where he just wants to bang it out. And then you guys banged it out. And then you quite literally right after gave him the gift with a beautiful handwritten note in it. And it was the Holy Bible. And she was absolutely dying. She was like, I see it now how crazy that is.
How absolutely
And I said,
unhinged.
And then she said, you need to absolutely talk about this on your podcast because I can't believe myself. And I said, I absolutely will. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the fodder. The fact that he's this absolutely self-proclaimed philanderer And she
left the Bible.
And I just know she's like very great with her words, you know, like whenever she sends us like a wonderful text for like our birthdays or like, you know, certain anniversaries, they're always so sweet, thought out,
Right.
like very she's like you guys are just like, you know, like touched with the Holy Spirit. You know, the blood of Christ runs through you both. So I can only imagine it was just the most beautifully written.
Yep.
And this man is
Who
just
wants
like
to get it in.
who just wants to fuck. He
Yeah.
just wants to bang it out with
Yeah.
every single pair of legs that's walking
And he's literally
earth.
telling her that.
He's not even keeping it a secret. He's
No.
like, I want to literally run trains on every single city in this country. And
Yes.
she's like, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Here's the Holy Bible.
Yes. No, literally. I was like, this is absolutely brilliant, honestly.
I am not inside myself. I am beside myself right now. I left my corporal body and I am now sitting beside myself.
And I said, okay, well, here's the thing. At the very least, he like keeps it on his bedside table. And then anytime he gets it on, he's taking a gander at that Bible and going,
that girl.
Way to keep
weird girl, and then he just keeps plowing the girl that he's with.
Plowing.
He's like, that
Just
girl was
left
weird,
and
then
right,
he's
left
just
and right.
going at it with like the 3 chicks that are in his bed right then.
Absolutely, and just being so bold about it too. Bold.
It's all very representative of the hypocrisy that is the Christian religion. But I
want to know what if you guys have ever done something so unhinged.
Yeah.
It gave me a chuckle, and I really loved it. I loved every moment of her telling me the story, and it made me feel warm inside. So
I'm heated up inside. And warm. It just
I think the world started healing the moment that
Am
happened.
I full of the Holy Spirit right now?
That's what it feels like.
I wanted to ask you a question before we leave. You know, you do the same cough thing that mom does now.
I also do. Well, okay, but Brian,
because you were doing it the other
thing that Dad does.
You were doing it on the phone the other day when we were talking.
I also have a cough though.
That's true, but you also I feel like do always have a cough.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's reminds me of mom, and it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you're Mackenzie Bezos and you've got literally $1 billion. What cheap food will you continue buying even if you can buy Mastros every night? Is there a cheap, like dirt cheap food that you love that you'll never stop eating? Or does that not exist? Would you only eat?
I think it would have to be like a Chick-fil-A.
Right. Like you would never give up like a Chick-fil-A.
No, like but I'm not like eating that like every night.
For sure.
I think it would be that. Yours would be Taco Bell.
It would be Taco Bell, but also it would be Kraft mac and cheese. Like I would.
Oh, you mean like a food like that? Oh, mine would be refried beans. Like not even a shadow of a doubt. It would be refried beans. The what's it called? The one that's like in the yellow.
I know the one
with the red. Yeah,
yeah. I can see it right now.
That I could literally eat. I'm not kidding. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I love beans.
That is so. You love the beans, dude.
I know.
You are beans.
And I am beans.
You are beans and does not ever forget that you're beans. Yeah, no, it would be Kraft mac and cheese for me. Kraft mac and cheese with meatballs is
that's I've never
one of my favorite. Martin and I always there's like 3 dishes that Martin and I call the taste of Thousand Oaks.
Yeah.
Because when we were broke, when we first lived together, we could only afford like a handful of meals.
Right.
One of those being the Trader Joe's chicken Alfredo. We know that.
So good.
The other one being mac and cheese with frozen meatballs, obviously cooked and defrosted. But you put them in the microwave 6 minutes.
Which meatballs?
Either from the place that we do not name and shop anymore.
Okay.
Or Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has them.
Okay.
So just like Ralph's and Vaughn's. I mean, they just have like, they're in a bag and they're just like frozen. And then you just pop them in the microwave and they're delicious. They have like Italian ones. Anyway, that with a very well-made Kraft mac and cheese. I can't
That is
explain to you
really-
how delicious it is.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing about Kraft that I believe to be true,
Mhm.
and this might be controversial.
That's fine.
Kraft mac and cheese is better a little bit cold than it is hot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as it's been sitting on the stove after making it maybe like 45 minutes after, it's better then. Or from the fridge.
I can't fully with my whole bussy agree because I do think that it is stellar in every form.
Yeah.
When it's freshly made, divine. When it's been sitting for 45, divinity.
Yeah.
When it's been in the fridge for 2 days, euphoric.
Yeah.
Okay. It's divinity, divine, and then and that's where I'm at with mac and cheese.
Yeah, that is good.
And the reason why, by the way, we call it the Taste of Thousand Oaks is because you know how the iPhone will make little albums that it'll like put music to.
Yes.
And like it'll be a slideshow of a bunch of like genre specific photos. So it just randomly took pictures of our mac and cheese that we had taken and the Alfredo and like the one other meal and was just doing a slideshow of these like 3 meals with the title that it chose, Taste of Thousand Oaks.
That is
because they were all taken in Thousand Oaks.
That is so funny.
They were probably thinking it would be like all of these like delicious restaurant meals. Like it's like us at, Mastro's, Fogo de Chao, like us over at maybe Le Pan.
Right.
Like all of these delicious dishes. And it would be like, this is a Taste of Thousand Oaks.
Yeah.
This
But
is
no,
what
it's a
you'll
collective
get.
$7.
This is a collective culinary
Yeah.
compilation
Yeah.
of the best that this town has to offer. And instead, it's like 12 different photos of a bowl of mac and cheese.
That is brilliant.
And that's called the Taste of Thousand Oaks. And anytime we make it even now, we'll be like,
do you want to taste a Thousand Oaks?
You want to taste a Thousand Oaks tonight?
And it kind of actually is very much adds up to what I believe would kind of be, you know, how each state
because there's lots of Italian food. There's lots of Italian food here. And mac and cheese is nothing if not
I was just gonna say, I don't know if I would call mac and cheese Italian.
Mac and cheese is Italian food.
So you to be like, this is Italian.
It's
I want you. That is
it's
literally
pasta
you to go
and
to
meatballs
Italy and be like, do you guys have mac and cheese and meatballs? What do you mean that's Italian?
There's nothing more Italian. What's more Italian than pasta and meatballs?
What's more Italian than Kraft mac and cheese? Name something.
Name one thing that's more Italiano. More Italiano.
There's nothing.
Than a Kraft and mac and cheese.
Kraft and mac
and
cheese.
A Kraft and mac and cheese and a meatball. Isn't it so funny how Italians, they gotta always say everything with this at the end.
Yep.
What is that?
I don't know, but I really like it.
What it is, it just takes a really long time to get through what you're trying to say. Like there was an influencer that we followed who, by the way, had a tea-filled divorce.
Really?
A tea-filled divorce. I don't have to be cagey about it. It's literally news. Chiara Ferragni. She got married to that singer.
Oh, they got divorced?
Oh, he had a mistressa the entire time.
Oh, no.
The entire time. Remember when he did that super fat phobic post during COVID? And ever since then, I was like, ooh, red flag. This guy there's something up here.
Wait, he had a mistress the entire time they were together?
They were on the phone. He was on the phone with her the day of their wedding. And this has been confirmed by Chiara and his people. Her people, this is confirmed. He was on the phone with his mistress the day of their wedding saying, tell me not to do it. I'm in love with you. I want to be with you. I don't want to be with her. And his mistress was like, I don't want to be in the public eye. You are way too like, because he's like a very famous singer in Italy. Literally have no fucking clue who he is, but apparently
and then
he's
they went to have
like
2 kids, right?
They went on to have 2 kids, like a whole life together.
Oh my gosh, this is sad.
And he had an absolute mistress the entire time. He continued seeing this woman.
Ew, dude. Ew.
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 Men will do anything but get therapy. They will philander. They will run around and how are men able to have affairs and like set up all of this espionage, but like can't do like a child's meals?
No, it's
You know what I
crazy.
mean? Like they can't figure out breakfast, lunch, and dinner for their kids.
It's
Or they
crazy.
can't figure out like a cleaning schedule.
I
But
hope
you can philander under the guise of being a good dude.
I hope her next boyfriend is so hot and so famous and so rich
And
and
so
good
gorgeous and just
so
so everything and all of it.
Yeah, like that's what my wish is for her.
Right.
So
yeah, that's definitely, yeah. How people don't see these things though is interesting.
I mean, yeah.
Do you
I
think
don't
maybe
know.
she did see it and maybe she just was like,
no, having 2 kids, no.
A
I think there's too
little-
much on the line. I think he's just that slimy.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, classic.
Anywho, guys, we love ya. Go check
We
out our
love you guys.
Patreon. $5 a month gets you the episodes a day early, and you get 2 extra episodes a month, and you get all the video footage. So an absolute stealing the rug from underneath
And
us.
everything is ad free. If you guys listen normally, you know you get the ads, and we know that there can be a little bit, but
Yep.
girls have to pay our bills.
Mm-hmm.
But you get them ad free if you're on a Patreon, $5
Thank
a
you.
month, and we
love
appreciate you either way. But we love you guys so much, and we will see you in next week's episode.
Ciao, Bella.
Arrivederci.
Thank you guys so much for listening. You can catch a new episode of Model Citizen every Thursday. And please don't forget to follow the podcast so you don't miss any of the action. We want to hear from you. So please leave a rating and review and follow us on socials for all the behind the scenes action at Hunter McGrady and Michaela McGrady. And don't forget, you are worthy, you are loved, and you are capable of doing all wonderful things. Bye, guys.